Narcissistic individuals go all out to withhold attention, affection and support to destroy your self-esteem. Only within them withholding these things to destroy your self-esteem, you can become reactive abuse. So you can then start withholding things from the narcissistic individual because they're withholding from you. Only as a narcissist lacks the empathy and doesn't take responsibility, they don't see themselves as the problem. They see your reaction to their behaviour as the problem and they blame you. And as you have the compassion to care about them, you question and doubt yourself and who you are and your behaviour and wonder whether you're causing it. And when you are around somebody that brings out a side within you that you don't like, that's a very big sign that you should not be around that person. We can all have a negative side to us. It's about being around those who try to bring the best out in us as we try to bring out the best in them. When it comes to a narcissist, they will withhold intimacy and support. They will refuse to show any kind of empathy or concern. And it gets you to a point where you feel anxious. It ruins your self-esteem. You feel invalidated. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel enough. So you can begin to sort of take a step back. You can sort of isolate yourself because you're feeling isolated and unsupported. And then you can get into the feelings where you're no longer supporting them because after all, they don't care about you. And that answers your question. They don't care about you. Yet when you don't support them, they guilt trip you by accusing you of being unsupportive. And because you have that compassion, you change who you are and you blame and question yourself because you're going against who you are as a person around them. A narcissist will withhold information. They will twist the truth and it causes a lot of confusion. You can end up rummaging through their things, invading their privacy to gain the answers, turning into someone you don't like, and then they turn around and accuse you of the one who's invaded their privacy. And as you know this is wrong, you don't like who you've turned into, you blame yourself. When they're withholding that information, it's mental torture. You struggle to make sense of what is happening. And when you inform them of stuff, they can sabotage things for you. So you can find yourself withholding information from them. Narcissists do it as a form of manipulation to control. Victims do it in order to protect themselves. With a narcissistic individual, they will go all out to gaslight, to deny you your reality, so that you doubt your perceptions, so that you believe you're the one that's going crazy and you struggle to make sense of the world. You can feel like you're gaslighting them because when they said they'd do something and then they didn't do it, and then you say, hey, you said you'd do this, and they turn around and say, I never said that, and you're going, yes, you did, and you're questioning, did they? And then you're the one that's left wondering whether you're gaslighting them. Narcissists will use the silent treatment as a form of punishment to manipulate and to control. And victims often then struggle with that rejection and try and chase the narcissist. And help the narcissist and find out what they've done wrong. When you get to a point where you respect their silence and leave them to it, you've then fallen silent on them and you can feel bad. Or when you know if they're coming at you, if you say something, they're going to react negatively, so you can remain silent, you can believe you've turned into the manipulative one because you're trying to protect yourself against them. You're not trying to manipulate or control them, you're trying to remain safe. A narcissist will withhold that praise and that validation and that recognition. Now, when they come on strong in the beginning with the flattery and the insincere praise, it feels good to be around them because you don't recognise the manipulation. And because they're treating you well, you can thank them, you can praise them. However, when they're withholding that intimacy, when they're withholding information, when they're gaslighting your reality, when they're falling silent on you, you're not particularly going to be very forthcoming in praising them and giving them that validation. When you start to see through the manipulation, you're not going to be very forthcoming in telling them well done. But they get offended. They become the victim of the reality that they created, and they feel offended that you're no longer there for them. They go and seek out new sources of supply because they fear abandonment, and then they blame you for not giving them the attention because they don't take responsibility for their own behaviour. They crave that attention, affection and support for their own certainty because they fear rejection. Yet they go all out to reject you, to place their fears within you so that they can control you into living life on their terms, so that they can feel more secure within themselves.